I'm from New York. I'm in Texas right now, but just letting y'all know I'm from New York, Queens.
Just
Yeah.
moving around, moving around. Well, I'm from the Bay, but I'm in LA.
Yeah, yeah, see, Queens, New York, South Side.
South Side, we gotta throw that in
South Side,
there.
Jamaica, Queens.
Well, we got North Carolina in here. Si's from Jamaica. I didn't know that.
Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to send one. Just give me one moment. So again, for those who are just joining, if you can just submit your music at thecartestlive.com, you'll see the form and you'll just fill out the information. Basically, the way it works, I'm going to see who's really participating, who's really involved, who's showing some good vibes. And I'm pretty much just going to choose some of you, or some of your music, I should say, and I will forward that to Curtis, and Curtis will then listen to your music and then provide feedback. So just stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining. This is the first live here for this regarding Send Your Music Live feedback from Curtis. And yeah, enjoy.
Nice, nice. Thank you, thank you. All right, all right. How's everybody doing? Sorry about that little delay, but we up now. We'll wait on Anya to send over some stuff to listen to.
Yes, and I just sent one over, but I'm going to definitely send some more. So let me just make sure. So Yanik, we have Yanik as the first one. And Yanik is basically, when you receive the email, basically, yeah, Yanik is basically asking for overall mixed feedback. Yanik said that he produced the record and recorded and engineered the artist's kudos on this track.
Okay, cool. So wait, we're looking feedback for what? I'm sorry.
Oh, so yeah, basically Yanik is looking for overall mixed feedback. He said that he produced the record and recorded and engineered the artist's kudos. That's the artist's name, if I'm correct, on this track. So just overall mixed feedback.
All right.
So Yanik, just give us a moment. You already know how this goes. I recognize you.
We're just gonna load this
Just
up.
give us a moment for that to get set up, and then you'll listen and provide the feedback.
All right. So we just loading up right now.
And again, for those just joining, if you can just head to thecartestlive.com and just basically look at the form, fill out the information, you'll see that's where you'll be able to submit your music for feedback from Curtis, okay? And like I said, again, for the new people, drop where you're from. You know, you could drop your IG, you know, all those things, you know, build the connection. We love to see it. And yeah.
All right, cool, cool. So we have Yanik loaded up right now. All right, so let's give this one a listen.
Yep.
I understand it. Yanik, push me to this. I lost it through the years, blood, tears, sweat, pain, pressure, make down.
Our end. Can anyone hear?
Did you hear that, Anya?
No, I didn't. But I'm just trying to make sure if everyone else on YouTube and other platforms can hear. One moment, because sometimes this does happen. Y'all can hear? Okay. Oh, y'all hear loud and clear? Okay.
Okay,
So,
cool.
maybe I think I know why. Okay.
That's fine.
It's fine. I
All
got
right,
it.
let's start this.
Sorry about that.
No, we good.
So, all right, Yanik, we running this back again.
Yeah, that was
Overall
the,
mixed
that was the,
feedback.
That was,
Let's
that
go.
was the DJ car stop, and then okay, we going
Yeah.
back at it. We going back.
The
at
stop and pause and
it.
rewind.
Yeah. All right.
I understand it.
Yanik, push me to this.
I lost it through the years, blood, tears, sweat, pains. Pressure make diamonds, yeah, shine and maintain. On my line, on my calling, been aligning in my lane. Mind, body, spirit, load to wash up with gang. I'm jumping off that porch, you better go run you up, son. I got Travis Hunter stats, I'm the one-on-one. Really in the field, they not even an alum. It's really how it is when you gotta go get it done. Ain't no takebacks or no setbacks, we can't let that get expunged. It's been hard for me to forgive, just let live and go in, son. I've been growing through some things to overcome. It's chilly on this mountain, where we from. Cold world feel. When it's all said and done, son, that deal seal. In your way when there's no safety net, a place to heal. I understand it now, like a lethal shooter drill. When it come to my objectives, I ain't shoot to kill. I ain't Paul, but I'm piercing through the truth and real. Paul, but I'm piercing through the truth and real. Real. Life lessons through phases. I can tell you how many times life did shape shift. I take off and get out of sight like a spaceship. Through the highs and the lows, I had to face it. I was stuck in a place I wasn't safe in. Had to break down to the basics. What don't make sense now later makes sense. What don't make sense now later makes sense.
Okay. Song is super dope. I like the song. The artist is dope as fuck. The bass, the drums, everything knocking, beat sounds good. The only thing that I'm really hearing is in the vocals, and I know I talked to Devon a few times with this, and it seems to be a thing nowadays, but the vocals feel like a little too sibilant, not like to where it's hurting your ears or anything. It just, you could hear the processing a little bit too much. That's just my personal liking. I like more warm vocals. So I'd say something in like the 10K area or so. Let's pull up a EQ and just see where we at with this. All right, so.
And for the new people just joining again, y'all can just enter or submit your music by going to thecartestlive.com.
They said I sound low. Do I need to put on movie voice? All right.
I sound low? Oh, you sound low?
They were saying I sound low.
Oh, you have that very mellow, calm.
Yeah. It's a smooth jazz hour with Curtis. No.
Yeah.
All right, let me just play this section real quick right here. I just want to see what frequency's messing with me.
Run you up, so I got Travis Hunter stats. I'm the one-on-one. Really in the field, they not even an alum. It's really how it is when you gotta go get it done. Ain't no takebacks or no setbacks, we can't let that get expunged. It's been hard for me to forgive, just let live and go inside. I've been growing through some things to overcome. It's chilly on this mountain where we from. Cold world feel. When it's all said and done, son, that deal seal.
All right, so this is the frequency I'm talking about. I said 10K, 10,600. I was close, guys. I was close. So that's the frequency of the vocal that I'm hearing. That's a little bit too present for me in the mix. I feel like if you were able to cut this out of the vocal a little bit, the hi-hats would come through even more. The drums would come through even more. But that's really all I'm hearing. The hi-hats are pretty high up here. I don't know if you saw me solo that, but they were way up here at about 16K. So they didn't bother me. The hi-hats don't bother me, but that is pretty high. But yeah, it's really just this 10K frequency on the vocal. Sounds like this. You hear that? It's kind of just like screechy a little bit. That's really all I hear in this one. Otherwise, the drums are banging. I know I've seen everybody in the chat. He said move the EQ over. My bad. Sorry, guys. Check this out real quick.
Run you up, so I got Travis.
So that's the frequency we're seeing. As you can see, it's 10,600 hertz. So for me, that's just a little too present. I like, more of like a warm analog vibe. I know like with some of the modern vocals, like some of your clients want to, you know what I'm saying, have that shine in there. I think there's just a way to do it to where you can notch a little bit out of that and still feel the shine, but it doesn't get in the way of everything. This is right here. All right. He said we'll expose the Pro Q will expose everything. Yeah, for sure it will. I usually with the Pro Q though, I don't really try to do anything visual until I've heard it. So when I listen, I'll hear you and I'll be like, oh, that's 10K. It sounds like 10K to me, and then I'll pull the Pro Q out and then kind of use the visualizer there to see where all the energy's at. But I was pretty close with that. All right, cool. All right, so great job, Yanik. That song is fire. Who's the artist on this?
He said the artist was Kudos on this track.
Yeah, kudos to Kudos. You know what I'm saying? My man.
Yeah, exactly.
Did his thing.
Yeah, he did that. And like Yanik said, he produced the record. He said he recorded and engineered the artist Kudos. So yeah,
nice. Yeah, Yanik, the beat is fire. 808 drums is hitting right. Like I said, it's just a little vocal thing right there. Personal preference of mine, but yeah, great job. Let's get into number 2. Try to keep moving.
Yep. So the next one is Shane Lewis, aka Aeon Reed or Raid. I'm not sure if I'm saying that properly, from YouTube.
Looks like Reed.
Reed, yeah, probably. And so, he would like to just get feedback regarding, it says mix balance, vocal clarity, preparedness for mastering.
Okay, word. Let's see what we got. All right, it's just loading up. We about to press play.
Hello? I can't deny, you got, I can't deny, 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 I can't deny, and I can't forget. Be the sun, be the moon. We will be together soon. Release your mind and lose control. You gotta rush your mind and rush your soul. Open your heart and let it all flow. And rush your mind and rush your soul. I can't deny, you got, I can't deny, I can't deny, you got, I can't deny.
All right, all right. Yeah, I like the record. I was just playing it to this little spot where they had this little breakdown at because I was trying to see what happened there. I do like the little breakdown. It's super tight. As far as the track being prepared for mastering, you can have tracks as loud as you want. This one still looks like it's maintaining transients, so I'm not too mad at it. You could tell though there's some squashing going on obviously here. Me personally, I usually will have something on the two bus or something to send back to the client for the mix side just to like compete with their reference and kind of get their approval. And then when I send off to mastering, I take most of that off. I don't want to keep any limiting or anything on there for me personally. So for this one, it's hitting at... Yeah, so we're hitting at like 1.8 on the peak. I'm usually trying to be in between like -3, -6, something like that. All of the mastering engineers I work with, they're gonna work with what you send them. For me personally, just because I don't master usually myself, I like to leave that in the hands of the mastering engineer and kind of preserve all my transients and everything like that. So I usually do my mixes with a little bit of headroom. What I am hearing in this mix is it sounds like there's a lot of top end on the drums. I'm gonna investigate this a little bit real quick. A little Fab Filter, you know the vibes. I do have Fab Filter 4 as well, if y'all are asking, but this is just I'm so comfortable with 3.
I can't deny, I can't deny, you got, I can't deny. I can't deny. I'll be the sun, be the moon.
Yeah, so I really think, to be honest, like in just sweeping the frequencies, it's not really popping out too much to me. I think what it is that you have your mastering stuff put on your two bus or your mix stuff, whatever's squashing everything, and it brings out the top end a bunch with the limiter and stuff. So for me, like I know that some top end is about to come out when I send it to mastering. So I try not to overcook the top end. In this one, just because of whatever the processing is that's decreasing your dynamic range here, whether it's a limiter, or compression, both, it's making those frequencies pop out a little harsh. I feel like if you had like a mastering engineer do it, they could probably do it a little bit where it's preserving the transients and not sounding so bright. But yeah, it just feels a little bright to me on the drum aspect. And then I feel like once that gets honed in, you'll probably be able to tune up the vocal top end just a tiny bit more. It's like the same thing. So I think like you got a little top end with the vocal, little top end with the drums that are kind of clashing a little bit, and I would probably just clean up just that little region. It's like 7K in here for the vocals, but it's more like around 4.5, 5K on the drums. So maybe just check that out. Did you have like you putting something on the drum bus, or just on the stereo bus? Shane's in here, right?
Yeah, Shane's in here. And I was gonna say while Shane responds, Graham asks, why does every track these days have such a piercing high end? So what
I
do you
think
think?
I think the biggest reason why that is because a lot of people are recording with templates. So like if you get a template, it might work for one vocal, it might not work for another vocalist. And I feel like a lot of people are just using the same template on people, and someone might come in with super top end in their voice naturally, and then it's just getting accentuated. I think the other thing is that a lot of people are using, some sort of A/B source to see like, oh, this is the song I'm going for. It's already mastered. It's out on streaming, and they're trying to get their mix to match that before they send a master. So you're kind of overdoing it a little bit, I think, when you start hearing that piercing sound, and also the human ear perceives 2K and up way better than it does low end. That's why 808s and stuff are the loudest things in our mix, because we don't hear them well, so we have to turn them up. But top end we hear really well. So like when you hear a song next to another song that's got a lot of like high mids or highs, it perceivably seems louder at first. But the problem with that is the replayability kind of loses its quality because your ears tire out from listening to it. So you're like, let me move on to the next song. So I think like that's probably the biggest thing. I think me and Devon were talking about this on his stream. Just when people use templates and they just use it for every instance, it doesn't always work that way. Like normally, I remember when I was tracking, I had a good signal going in. I made sure like the Neve gain staging is right going into the CL1B, all of that, and you try to get that to sound as good as possible. And then, I might have like an EQ or a compressor or something added into the session for recording. But nowadays I see these templates and there's like 7 plugins on the vocals, and you haven't even heard what the vocal sounds like yet. You're just putting the template on there to get quick work done. I think if you are going to use a template when you're recording or even in your mixing stuff, when you have it where it's at or once it's recorded, try like bypassing certain plugins, maybe some EQ bands. Just try messing around with it until you get the tone you're hearing. Just don't assume that every template is going to work for every vocal, because I've worked with so many different vocalists. Like it's definitely not the case. Like everybody needs their own little thing. As far as like effects and stuff go, cool, like reverbs, all that, yeah, do your thing. But when it comes to like compression and EQ and all of that, like that's a per song, per vocalist type of thing. So maybe try to avoid your templates as much, or try to mute plugins in your template to try to get the sound that you want to get, would be my suggestion on that. And then did Shane ever answer?
I was trying to look and I didn't see.
Yeah,
But Shane,
I'm trying to find him
I've
in
been
chat
reading.
too.
I was trying to read it.
Yeah, I didn't see Shane answer. Shane, I don't know if you have something on your drum bus, your tube bus, or both, but I think like the processing on there is kind of overcooking it a little bit in the top end.
What did you mean by saying that? Like or sometimes people may overuse AB. Like, do you mean like?
I don't think it's an overuse. I think that people. So yeah, let me clarify that a little bit. I think it's like if you're in the mixing stage, right, and you're mixing a record, and the record you're ABing to is a master, you need to turn the master down like 10 dB. Like that's what I would do when I get my reference tracks that are just like bricked out. I'm turning them down at least like 10, 12 dB to compare them to my mix. So yeah, it's like if you're leaving it at 0 and you're trying to match that with your mix, it's probably going to be a little hot or feel a little over processed in the top end, because you're comparing apples to oranges in essence there. If you're mastering the record and that's how you work, like you mix into your master, that's cool too. Like that's easier. That's a better way to A and B to a master if you're not going to turn the master down. But I don't ever really try to do that, because I feel like you might overcook it. You might not have enough top end. You might lose some transients. Like when you send it off to mastering, they're going to do some stuff too. So it's like if there's not a lot of dynamic range going to master, there's going to be even less when it comes back. So I would say, yeah, maybe just check out what your processing is on your drum bus, on your tube bus, and maybe back off a couple things and just lower whatever you're referencing to, just lower the volume on that to compare so that they're getting the same output so you can compare tonally and your transients. I
Gotcha.
see Gone Camping says I go 3 to 6. Yeah, exactly. I'm about the
Yeah.
same way. I'm usually end up between 3 and 6. This was at like negative 1.8, I believe. So it's not like crazy off. I just think it sounds a little over processed, and it could
You
just
think
be too
people
much.
do A/B? You think people do just the A/B and still don't even know what they're looking for?
No, I don't think it's not what they're looking for. I think it's they're hearing they that thing they're A being to is like a mastered record that's commercially released, and they're not at the mastering
Mm.
stage yet. So it's like you're trying to compare
Uh-huh.
a final product of a master to a final product of a mix, which usually
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to line up right away. And me, the one thing about me not being a mastering engineer and like being able to lean on, people like Nick Depp at Million Dollar Snare and Demetrius. I know they know what they're doing and they do it way better than me. So I would rather them do all of that. I understand, with your clients, if they send you like a bricked out reference, you got to kind of match it. There's two ways you can go about it. If you're on engineers, they have the A/B feature on the platform. So when you upload your mix, and they have like a bricked out reference, it'll volume match them, so you can really hear without being fooled by the loudness of things. So yeah, I think A being is very good. I just think you need to know what you're A being. If you're A being a mix to a master, you got to take that into consideration and turn the master down. So when you're A being, you're just matching tonality and not necessarily loudness. I think loudness fools the ears sometimes into thinking something sounds better when it actually doesn't. Okay, he said he used
Nice.
NLS on the drums and API on the mix bus. And is it just the API, the 2500 compressor? We'll see if we can get an answer from him real quick. Shout out David there, one of the best features on engineers, the AB feature. Love it, love it. All right, I'm gonna load up the next song. We'll see if Shane responds to the API question, but let's pull up the next one here.
Okay. I sent you two, so whichever one you choose, it's fine.
Okay, looks like we'll do it's Jameek.
Okay. So yeah, Jameek just wants general feedback, and yeah, and he's from YouTube.
Okay, cool. So let's get rid of this. We'll load up Jameek here.
Jameek is there. He said he's just vibing right now.
Oh, I remember Jameek. He's always vibing. He's always
Yeah.
vibing. Yeah, my man
Yeah.
always in there vibing. He got the camera thing going. He's freestyling everybody's songs on mute. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this look, I mean, just looking at the waveform, it looks like this is a mastered version. As you can see, there's a lot of bricking going on here. But let's take a listen and see what it sounds like.
I'm on a mission, keep quiet. We tryna peep the scene, lay low. They watching, camera's eyes on me. She in the room, she the target, but they just don't see. Secretary tryna blow my cover. Hit a bar and get a drink. 007. Ooh, 007. Ooh, 007. 007 on the move now. Lead a bar, go down the hall. Hit a left, hit a right, play it smart. Shoot for the moon, aim for the stars.
All right. So this frequency right here in the vocals, this like 5400 or so. So that's poking out to me. Again, this is like crazy enough at how brick this is. The dynamics actually aren't crazy. It's really like the vocal. Like I feel like all these vocals, and maybe it's just like the new music coming out. They're just kind of harsh in these frequencies. 5K is usually like in a template where somebody's gonna like put a high shelf on the vocal every time. So that might be the case. Like if you're recording with like a C800 microphone that already has a bunch of 10K in it, like boosting 6 dBs and 10K is probably gonna hurt the mix a little more. I'm not saying that's the case here, I'm just saying, know your gear. Like if you have a dark microphone, you're probably gonna have to boost some highs. If you have a bright microphone, you might not need to boost as much highs or any at all. For me though, in this song, the beat is crazy. I really like the beat. The beat is fire. It's kind of almost got like this like Nardo kind of vibe to it. It's really just like the vocal processing for me. Let me play this one section over here just to see how this breakdown goes.
See what happened, what you gotta see.
Even these frequencies right here, like that's all vocal. So when you see the spikes, like one thing you could use your Pro Q for is for this particular reason. Like when you see those spikes in those two frequencies that are like a dB to 3 dB louder than the rest of the signal, that usually you're going to want to tame that, whether you do it with a dynamic cut. So if you want to use dynamic, you can just pull down this little outer ring of the gain knob. So it'll pull down here. Right now it's set to auto threshold, but you can set your own threshold here if you like. And what this will do is anytime this frequency crosses over that threshold, it's going to pull it down however much you tell it to pull it down here. And then, or you can just do a static cut and you can just do it straight from the actual gain knob, and this will just cut that frequency completely all the time. For this particular material, I would probably do like a static cut first and kind of balance out those two regions a little bit more. And then if there's still anything poking through, you could probably add a dynamic little cut there as well. But yeah, for me, it's in the vocals, it's this 25, this frequency right here, and this frequency right here, 3800. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Jason Joshua said this one time, 3800 is a terrible frequency. Not saying you always have to cut it, it's just something that like always annoys me. I think he said the same thing. For some reason, that 34 to 3800 is just, it's a little rough on human ears. So check out those two frequencies, maybe play with the dynamic EQ, anything like that. You can also, if this EQ, like if you already have a Pro Q in your chain and it's going into compression and stuff like that, maybe try adding it to there before it hits the compressor so everything still feels glued together. But it does feel a little bit harsh in those upper mid, those high mid frequencies there. All right.
Yep. So up next we have is Flowman.
Flowman.
Flowman. And Flowman just wants just general mixing feedback and yeah, just overall song feedback.
Okay, cool. I'm downloading that now. Let's just throw this in here. All right. So it looks like it's called what? Too Far? Too Far Gone.
Too far. Yeah, too far gone. Yep.
Okay,
And
Too
just
Far
yeah,
Gone.
general mixed feedback.
Okay, so first off, just before we even play this, this is probably a little bit more similar to like what a mix that I would do looks like, as far as like how you can see these transients. So it's not overly bricked. You still have a good, a good volume on everything here, but it's not to where everything feels, it doesn't look like a hot dog when you look at the screen, which is kind of what we're going for. Because the mastering is going to do that. They're going to end up doing that to your track themselves. And at least for me, because I don't master, like I would rather leave something like that in somebody else's hands. But let's play this record. Let's see what we got.
How does it feel? I'ma just give it a real, yeah. I made a steal that made me harder to kill, yeah. Know that I love you, I got you. I'm psycho, I don't play about you, but I'm feeling mistreated. You feeding my demons, and now I can't be around you. That's how it goes. Hurt myself letting you go, babe. That's what you chose, and I'm too far gone down the road, babe. And that's how it goes. Hurt myself letting you go, babe. That's what you chose, and I'm too far gone down the road, babe. Hater came to this. Can't believe you on some hater shit. Had my options.
cool, cool. That second verse kind of surprised me there. I thought the whole record was going to be like that same vibe in the front. So that's kind of cool juxtaposition there. I like that. Both vocals have a lot of texture to them, which is cool, especially for like the artist on this song and the vibe of the song. I like how the kick's hitting. The kick sounds like it's not super low end like boomy, but I don't think that it really needs to be. I kind of like the punchiness of it. Yeah, I don't think you really need. You could try to add maybe a little, like a mag EQ or something, and add like a notch on the sub band or something if you wanted to fill out the bottom a little bit more. I really want to check out the vocals in this section, so let's pull up the trusty Fab Filter Pro Q3 one time. All right, and let's just see what this is doing.
Hurt myself letting you go, babe. That's what you chose. Yeah. And not too far, come down the road, babe. Hurt myself letting you go, babe.
So all this, especially right here at 11K, there's just a lot coming through on that. And I think it's like, especially because we're seeing it similar in like a lot of these records, is I think just everybody wants to boost the fresh air, or they want to boost like a high shelf or whatever it is, because it like adds like that shininess to the vocal. But if the vocal's already shiny, you don't really need to add any more just based off principle. So for me, because this one's not like super bricked out or anything, it just sounds like there's a lot of saturation going on. So like with the vocal, you could probably clean up the top end there so that it sits better in the mix. I think there's an art to like adding the shininess to the vocal without filling up all the space to where like hi-hats and the top end of the snare and stuff don't really come through. If you play with this frequency and cut some out a little bit, you'll probably feel the vocals sit in the mix more. It sounds like on that second verse when the rapper comes in, he feels a little tucked in the beat in general. And I feel like you probably will have an easier time fitting both of them the same way in the beat if some of that top end was tamed, because the top end is, it's filling up all that range with where the hi-hats and everything are. And so you have to like boost the vocal to be there volume-wise because it's competing with those. But if you cut out some of those frequencies, it won't compete with those instruments as much, and it'll kind of just sit in the mix a little bit better. Let's see, we got... Yeah, so that right here is Leroy saying like sometimes we get fooled into boosting certain vocal frequencies, competing with instrumental frequencies, and like that's really what it is. It's like, especially if you have like a 2-track or something, and there's not like a lot you can do with the 2-track as far as like mixing wise goes. It's like you kind of have to do certain things to try to get vocals to cut through more. But yeah, it's like Flowman here says, I always put the 10K high shelf on the SSL channel strip. And I love the shelf on the SSL channel strip, but sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes you're boosting 5 dB, sometimes you're boosting 0.5 dB. So it's really like use your ears, use your engine ears. So yeah, I think the kick comes through really nice. I think we're just at this stage where either it's templates or people trying to compete with masters, where like we're boosting things to compete with stuff when you're not quite at that stage yet. Like let your mastering engineer kind of bring out some of that. I understand, maybe you're mastering your own stuff. Maybe you don't have as much trust in your mastering engineer. But if that's the case, then you should probably find a new mastering engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like everything. Like this song, like I said, like it felt like it was gonna vibe through the same way, like from the beginning, and then boom, different rapper comes in and it changes the whole experience of the song, which I love because it makes the replayability better just off the song itself. If you could just clean up some of those high frequencies there, it'll be a little bit easier on the ears, which will make me want to play it over and over, and I won't get ear fatigue from hearing it too many times in a row.
Yes, sir.
He said, shout out Ohad, because Ohad be out there just doing his thing. Yeah. All right, so we got...
All right. So up next, we have Graham.
All right.
And Graham just wants general feedback.
All right, so this song is called Sweet Kisses.
Sweet kisses.
All right, all right. And for Anya, for Graham, what are we looking for feedback wise?
Oh yeah, he just basically just wants general feedback, nothing actually specific.
All right. And it just on the song or on the mix?
Just yeah, they just had general feedback. Usually it's general mixed feedback.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's give this one a listen.
Your kisses are so sweet. Yeah, you make me weak. The way we vibe, baby. It's the love I seek. And baby, you my freak. 7 days a week. You just what I need. Just what I need. Your kisses are so sweet. Yeah, you make me weak. The way we vibe, baby. It's the love I seek. And baby, you're my freak. 7 days a week. You just what I need. Just what I need. Money on my mind, but you're the one after. Calling on my phone like the DJ on the track, yeah. I ain't gon' pick up, baby, you're dating a rapper. Say my day so good, and I know this a fake, yeah. Call me busy, baby, where I get the vibe on it. Playing by the next don't want you ride on it. I ain't gon' lie, I wanna see you grind on it. Finish the tape and then impress your wine on it. I ain't tryna rush, baby, I just wanna know your vibe. I'ma take my time with you, baby, I'm down for the ride. You make me forget, baby, forget about this world. Tonight is just us, a young nigga with
1 second, let me just hear the end.
me. Just what I need.
That's fire. That's fire. Yeah, the effects on this is tight. I like this. Yeah, I really like the outro, the effects on the vocals. They sound great on that outro piece. It's like a real kind of like ethereal thing. Makes it real vibey at the end, which I like. As far as like the mix goes, these vocals were a lot less harsh in those upper mids and the high frequencies. There's probably like a couple notches you could probably take out in that region. But otherwise, I don't think it's like super harsh. Like the other ones the other stuff that we were looking at was a little more harsh than this one here. I really like the low end. Like the 808 is hitting. Yeah, keep that all the same. The drums are sounding cool. I wasn't mad at the beat mix at all. Vocal mix was a lot less harsh than the other ones. I just think it's like there's probably like a couple little frequencies you could take out here. Let's check this out.
7 days a week, you tell.
Yeah, them drums is punchy, man. Great job on them drums. Let's check this out.
7 days a week.
So yeah, it's gonna be somewhere in the top again.
7.
Right here. So like 6K or so, you could probably notch out maybe like a tiny bit.
7 days a week, you just what I need. Just what I need. Your kisses are so sweet. Yeah, you make me weak. The way I seek. And baby, you're my
like see this frequency, it's just constant. So like when you boost top end, like anybody that's adding top end to your vocals, just know that like after you add this top end, you're adding a bunch of good information that you like to hear, but you're also introducing some frequencies that are not going to be as pleasant. And that's where like your surgical EQ comes in. So like right here, and you'll notice I have this in mid mode just because we have a 2-track and that's where the vocals are most likely. So I just have it in mid instead of hearing the sides, so we can hear more of the vocal. But yeah, like this frequency playing the whole time.
But that's what tonight is just us. A young nigga with his girl. Your kisses are so sweet. Yeah, you make me weak.
Yeah, so really for me, it's just the vocals. I think, let's see, we got 6K, 8K, and about 14K or so. It's a little too much going in there, and this is super common. Like when I do my mixes, adding top end to the vocals, trying to get them to cut through, shine, sound right. Sometimes it introduces a bunch of these little frequencies in the top end that aren't so pleasant, especially when you go to mastering and add limiting and stuff, it's gonna bring these out even more. So I usually like to go in and surgically cut out what I don't need. So that's what I would cut. I would cut these frequencies here, this 13.8, 8.2, and 6K or so. Then maybe play with that just on the vocals. Everything else is sounding really good though. Good job on there. It is I mean, you could see it was clipping. So it looks like I don't know if you're using a limiter or not, but it's definitely like brick top a little bit on some of these peaks up here. So maybe even give yourself a little bit of headroom for mastering as well. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
And let's see, we have,
So I'm going to switch a little bit where we're going to choose someone from Instagram.
okay.
So
Let's
this
do
will
that.
be Ellis Henry.
Okay, and it says Skin to Skin.
Yes.
That's the name of the song. All right. So let's get this loaded up.
And yeah, you didn't really provide like specific feedback. So again, general mixed feedback.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. All right, let's play this.
Hugging me, I'm feeling like I'm home. Thought I was tipsy, like I'm drinking some. I don't keep it a secret, what you telling me. I know, long as you border it with something. And I know that you're scared, I got you loving. If you're asking me, I think I might. I fuck you right, I think I will, okay. I get the feeling that you're right on time. Because I believe it's something right with you. And I know it's only words, but it's much more that I can do with you now. And you never believe that you can learn how. Girl, I'm for real. I want you skin to skin. I'm for real. I want you skin to skin.
Okay.
Some easy.
Yeah, we got this 90s R&B breakdown right here. It's my favorite thing.
Slow.
All right, little car stop situation. The song feels really good. It's like that like Sunday like ride to smoke a blunt in the car. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that if it's illegal where you're at. But yeah, it's got a vibe. I like it. The track starts and you like immediately feel the warmth of the track, like the roads in there. The guitar sounds cool. Yeah, I like the way the track is done. I will say in this part right here.
Believe that you can learn how, that I can do what you now. And you never.
So that secondary guitar that comes in, that's like super plucky. I feel like that could probably stand out like transient wise just a little bit more, just because it's such like a cool moment and a great like additure to that section. That if it popped out a little bit more, I feel like it would make the record feel like it has more peaks and valleys, which would be super cool. I'm like super loving this 90s R&B breakdown, like, yeah, girl, I want to buy you corn dog type. You know what that's from, Anya?
I'm the worst. Oh, don't ask me those questions.
No, I'm like a crazy movie person. There's like this old movie called Kids, and
Oh yeah. I heard of it, but I did. I heard
yeah,
of the
so like
slang.
the dude in there is like he's hollering at a girl, and he's like, "Yo, girl, I want to buy you corn dog." But yeah, this little section, I love it because it's like a rest. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to cool out for a second, and then it all comes back in the hook again. So I like the dynamic of the song for sure. These vocals were less harsh than other ones. I still feel like they could fit in the mix a little bit more. Let me just check this out real quick.
Won't you skin to skin? I'm for real. I want you skin to skin.
It's this one right here. So that like 6480, 6500 or so, that's a little piercing in the vocal. You could probably bring that down a little bit. I like when the background's coming and everything gets like super wide and stuff. That's super cool. All that's cool. Like this is really nitpicky. I think you could probably notch this out and it would probably center the vocals like within the other elements a little more. Might even let that plucky guitar that I want to hear a little more like poke through just a tiny bit. But overall, like this track was done well. It's got the warmth that I like, the replayability factor on this one. I seen somebody, I seen people were comparing all of these songs to other artists and singing. I really think it sounds super unique. I don't think the artist sounds like anybody that's out, but the vibe is there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
vibe
I
is there.
agree.
It's super cool.
Everyone's laughing at your corn dog response.
That's
though.
what I know. They're gonna clip me up. I'm gonna be all over talking about corn dogs. But if you've seen the movie
yeah.
Kids, you know what I'm talking about.
I know, and I'm so bad. Even when I watch movies, I never forget it. So I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
I remember being a kid and that line played, and I just thought it was hilarious as a kid. Like, yo, I'm gonna pull up on Shorty and be like, I'm gonna buy you corn dog.
Corn dogs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But up next we have we're still continuing. Yeah, so up next we have is David Fields, aka Ocean Life Gianni. He's from Twitch, but he's also on YouTube right now. So he just said anything, gang, just any kind of feedback.
Anything, gang.
Yeah, anything, gang, in caps.
All right, it looks like it's called Harvest.
Let me just make sure. Yes.
Okay, where is this? Downloading real quick. I'll load this up.
It wasn't me, B-Way. That Nightbot is a menace. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
It's timing people out. I was like, it's not me.
All right, so this also looks like it's low-key mastered a bit. So you'll get some transients. You still see some transients here, but there's obviously a lot of, there's some limiting and stuff going on here. That decreases the dynamic range, but sometimes that works. Let's just check it out and see what we got.
Harvest time, this my season. God's the greatest, never stop believing. Holy Ghost, that's my teacher. I just console and bring out the kingdom. I live in freedom. I laced up my cleats, now I'm in the field. Walking by faith, yeah, it's getting real. On the kingdom of God, this my year. I got no chill. Harvest time, this my season. God's the greatest, never stop believing. Holy Ghost, that's my teacher. I
I just console and bring down the kingdom. Mo side, I'm a cosign, Mo drive Tetarosa. No más vida loca, God is awesome. Profile so wild, should be in the coffin. Built to be the good son, I'ma call it coffin. I told my friends and my family no. I told that doubt and that worry to go. Full on my own and I carry a sword. No contact, keep my eyes on the Lord. Yeah, could see my bitch and they call me a fool. Can't with the savior, no, I cannot lose. Don't try to let me be, no, I ain't just. Baby.
Okay. Song is tight. It's like, when it started, it was like, you know, one of them like old like Jeezy beats or something like that. But then the artist kind of got like not that he sound like Travis Scott, he just got kind of like a Travis Scott vibe a little bit, which is a cool little juxtaposition. With the limiting, go ahead.
Curtis, real quick before you say something, he just said in the chat, he said the artist wanted this to be mad loud and heavy low end, and he said these vocals were mad distorted when I got them, and the artist didn't want to re-record it. So he said, literally anything is fine as far as feedback.
Yeah. I was reading the chat while I was listening to it. Someone said this low end eats too much beef, which is hilarious. I think the low end. So the problem is like when somebody's like, yeah, I want massive low end, but then I want the track to be like super loud. Like unless you're like a master, like a crazy mastering engineer. The low end, like the louder you push the song, the more squash the low end's gonna get. So it's like if your low end is peaking this high up here, and then you got to bring the whole thing up in a limiter to bring everything here, your low end's just getting cut. So all of your transients, everything at the top is getting cut. So it sounds like the low end's getting squeezed too much in this. You could tell the vocals had distortion on them in the recording. A cool thing for that would be maybe to like lean into the distortion a little bit more to make it sound intentional. I think that's like usually the best fix for those situations. Obviously, sometimes the artist is going to be like, no, I don't want to sound like that. And then you got to explain like, well, you're already distorted from your recording. So if they don't want to like go in and re-record it the right way, I would just maybe discuss the options with them. Be like, yo, I feel like we should, or give them two versions and print one where you lean into the distortion to kind of make it like you did it on purpose. Like this is what we are going for, because that is what the listeners are going to gravitate to. Like if the distortion sounds like it was a mistake, they're going to know. But if it sounds like it was on purpose, they're going to be like, this mix is crazy. So yeah, I think it's just, obviously, you got to deal with your clients. They want stuff loud, this and that. If you're doing the mix and not doing the master and they want it loud, I would just like convey that to them. I would be like, yo, we're going to send this out to mastering. They're going to get it super loud, but we need to listen to this for approval for like, to go to that stage. But yeah, as you can see, it's the waveform is pretty bricked, as you can see here. Let me see what we got on right here.
No contact, keep my eyes on the Lord.
Oh yeah, one thing I did want to say, the background vocals, like the ad-libs and stuff, like out the left and right, that shit was all super cool. The panned hi-hats I really liked. I don't know if you had a beat stems to mix and that was you or not, but I really like how the hi-hats are panned because it kind of gives, even though there's not a lot of dynamics in the mix, it gives dynamics to the song, which is, what you got to do if you can't get the dynamics in the mix. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next one here.
Yes, we're going to show some more love to IG. So
Okay.
the next person we have is, one second, Sakura. So I think she actually switched over to YouTube as well, but she was actually on Instagram. And let me just make sure. She said, just looking for general feedback in regards to the mix and master. She said, I do everything myself. So she says she tends to overthink at times.
Okay, yeah, I see there's master in the title, so this is going to be a loud one. The song's called Boomerang, for anybody that wants to check this out when they drop it. All right, let's load this up. All right, cool. All right, so you could see, before we even start playing, you could see, like, this is probably music section, and this is where bass and drums come in, so a lot of dynamics, which is usually good.
Oh, and I apologize. Sakura is a male. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. We got you.
Sorry about that, Sakura.
Someone please tell me where the funds are.
Okay.
Bitch, I been about it since a rock ride. Yeah. I get money, know you love that. Throw it in the air when she come back. What she come back? Yeah. Like a boomerang. Yeah.
clothes say we different, yeah. I just made a new little baby. Call it C4, shorty soon. I love when you talk that shit. Swear to God you are that bitch. Don't listen, girl, you know I fridge. I never wanna stop. I let you on top. Now you grinding for way too long. We baking up. I can feel you rising in temperature. Your legs enough. Think it's about time that I taste ya. Got your body singing like la la la. When we done, can someone please tell me where the funds are? Bitch, I beat about it since a rock ride. Yeah. I get money, know you love that. Throw it in the air when she come back. What she
Hey, this low end everything hitting, but like you see the dynamic difference. Like even when you look at how loud this is, right? Like Momentary is hitting like -5, Integrated was like -10.5 or so, which is it could probably be a little louder, but that's partially because of these segments where there's no drums and stuff. I think everything's hitting real hard. The vocals actually sound really smooth. I seen somebody in here that said the delay's fire. I agree. I think in this section where the drums drop out,
it's about time that I taste ya.
like that background vocal that's singing, like that could come out a little bit more because there's really like there's nothing much going on in this section vocally. So this is like where you could show off that delay. You could show off the little background vocals that are playing and make them more like up front for this section because it gives like the listener to be like, oh, these are background vocals, but now they're like up in the forefront. And then you go back in. The coolest part of this section being this way is when the drums come back in. Like this creates like a moment in the record.
When we done, can someone please tell me where the funds are? Bitch, I beat about it since
Yeah, that part right there, super fire. Like I feel like a lot of, especially if you're like recording a lot of people, maybe you only have a 2-track or whatever. It's like the producer is gonna do what they can, but they don't have vocals. So it's like they don't know. They're just picking spots to like drop something out or do whatever. Like when you add the vocals, that's when like you can be like, oh, if we do this right here, then it makes this part even more fire. And I think that's like what this is. It's like a little cool down, and then it like builds back up into like that big hitting 808, which is amazing for me. But mix wise, I think it's cool. I think if you were able to bring the background vocals out a little bit more right here, I feel like there might be a little room to saturate the sides of like the music a little bit to like bring that out a little bit, but not in the way of the vocal. So like something where you're just like saturating, which this is normally like something people do in mastering for the most part, but doing like a side process to where it's not affecting the mid at all, and maybe adding a little saturation to bring out the music of the beat. But otherwise, I was rocking with this. I think this shit was fire. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, everybody's liking the arrangement. Yeah, he's saying he did all the cuts in the beat, and it's a 2-track. So it's like, one, shout out to the producer for getting the low end and shit to hit in a 2-track like that. Sometimes the 2-tracks are a little like squashed or they sound distorted or whatever. So I like the arrangement. All the drops are super fire. Yeah, I really like what you did, especially with the 2-track. Yeah, it sounds really good. They're saying, how would you saturate the side? There's plenty of ways that you could do it. You could do like a parallel of the like if you have the stems or even to the 2-track, you could parallel and then take like a fab filter and either take like mids out of a section and then add a saturator, whatever you want. Like it could be another fab filter joint, could be a Saturn. And then you blend that parallel signal into what you already have. And then that will kind of just boost the sides a little bit. There's plenty of other plugins that you can use. I'm sure there's a bunch of saturators you could use that you can do in mid-side mode. I personally would probably do it with the EQ and then add saturation and then blend it in just so that I can control exactly the frequencies that I want to bring up in the sides. So I would probably use like a Pro Q 4, 3. Let's see if we can show that a little bit.
Oh yeah, Andra Black from Instagram just basically said, "Sweet watching from Scotland." They said this feedback is very useful.
Nice, Scotland. I'm Scottish. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy right there. So in this Fab filter, like once you click a band, you can change over here to side, mid, whatever you like. You could even just, if you wanted, like the reason why I said cut the mid is because then you might add a little bit of mid to your signal in parallel. So I don't know. There's certain things that I'll do every now and then. I feel like doing high pass filters, low pass filters sometimes changes the phase a little bit too much. So sometimes I'll just like shelf some stuff out and have it here, and then you could even add maybe like a side version of this and maybe kind of boost whatever you want there. And then after this, I would add like a Saturn or some sort of saturation that you like. And then this would be on a secondary signal, and you would just mix this into your main track. So you're just adding the side information back in. But yeah, I like that song. That song was fire. All right, let's do this, and then it looks like we're gonna do about 2 more guys before the stream ends. Anybody that we didn't get to today, definitely reach out next week and submit. We'll be back on Monday to do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, we have 2 more. So I see this. We got another Instagram. It's P Rock.
Yeah, P Rock just basically said, just wanted songwriting and mixing feedback. Really, he wanted you to give it like raw and uncut, like if it sucks.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know,
and is that just for the mixing, or are we talking about the song as well?
Songwriting and mixing feedback.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this is called Being Honest. Let's download this. Okay, cool. All right, let's give this a listen.
Got me a whip and it go hella fast, but if I'm being honest, I want me a Rari. Kept it a G and I kept it 100, you switching up on me, you changing the story. I told my bro, better go grab your pole, if you come around here, it can get really gory. Lately it feel like that nobody know me, I'm stacking these bands on myself, I'm lonely. I upgrade my whip and got me another one, curving that bitch cause I got me a better one. I can't just go and be fucking with anyone, I gotta watch what I do when I say it's what it is and it's not what it isn't. And I came out flexing, I don't need no reason, I'm off for the perkies, I'm off for the lean, and I think it's the only thing that kills the pain. When I die, they remember my name, ain't shit changed but a brand new chain. Ain't no new but a brand new range. That little bitch with a brand new frame. I don't make friends, no, I'd rather make enemies. At least I know what they planning to do to me. Money is falling and sticking like glue to me. Hundreds on hundreds, no this shit not new to me. Plenty of bitches are showing me nudity. I know you hating, you never gon' root for me. I pull out all of my trust on you stupidly. I should've known all the things that you do to me. Now I move different, I'm fully aware. I ain't a spliff and I blow in the air. Remember I needed you, you weren't there. See that I'm lit, now you suddenly care. I pull up, they stare. Me a whip and it go hella fast, but if I'm being honest, I want me a Rari. Kept it a G and I kept it 100, you switching up on me, you changing the story. I told my bro, better go grab your pole, if you come around here, it can get really gory. Lately it feel like that nobody know me, I'm stacking these bands by myself, I'm lonely. I upgrade my whip and got me another one, curving that bitch cause I got me a better one. I can't just go and be fucking with anyone, I gotta watch what I do when I say it's what it is and it's not what it isn't. And I came out flexing.
All right, actually, I don't think that the mix or anything is bad. I think this looks like a master, or at least a loud mix. I think if you're going for a master, you probably get louder than this. But as a mix, you could send this out to mastering. It's still retaining transient information, as you can see right here. So you could send this out to a master and get that a little bit louder. I felt like the vocals felt like it's not even like a volume thing. Like I don't think they're a volume like they're not low. I think if you had like a touch more of saturation on them, they would cut through and feel like a little bit more energetic. And this record is like calls for something energetic. So I might try to mess with that if I was mixing this record, just add some sort of light saturation to the vocal to kind of get them to cut through and feel a little more energetic. The snare was hitting. Like the snare was hitting like old like Dre shit that like I'd come up on. Like I remember back then when the snare kind of dictated everything, which is how this feels. The low end is hitting, but I think because the snare is hitting so hard, you might have a little room to like get a little punchiness out of the low end, just like a tiny bit more. But otherwise, I think it sounded good. The vocals weren't like crazy harsh. I feel like there's room to add maybe a tiny bit of saturation to get a little color in them. But other than that, I like it. The song's not bad either. I'm not mad at it. And then Anya, do we have one more that we could go through?
Yeah, I'm about to send it to you right now.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to cut it, but we're gonna do one more. Yeah, see, Charlie
Do
in
one
here
more.
said early Dre snare type shit. It's exactly what I was hearing. That shit, I love that shit. That's what I grew up on. So, yeah, I like that. It's a
Just
two.
give me
It was
one
a
moment.
it was a 2-track mix, by the way. So yeah, I assume like a lot of the stuff that people get these days are 2 tracks, and I feel like we need to, as engineers, we need to fight that at all costs. We need to get those stems.
Okay, so I just sent it to you.
Okay, let's check this out. And who do we got?
So we have Isaiah Pierre, and yeah, basically just wants general feedback.
Okay, cool. And the song is called Outside.
Yes.
All right, word. Lashard, I be too quick with this mouse sometimes. Let me upload this first real quick, and then you can hop in there.
And just to let y'all know, yeah, so basically what you see today, this is our first stream on engineers regarding basically with receiving feedback from Curtis. So pretty much every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 3 p.m. Pacific. I can't even say Pacific. This always gets me. You're basically going to head to the cartestlive.com. You'll see next week, but basically you'll head to the cartestlive.com. That's where you'll be able to submit your music for feedback from Curtis. Now, the way it works, I'm pretty much right now tuned in and just looking to see who's really involved, who's really participating. And then I'm just going to pretty much choose from different platforms and then just basically send that off to Curtis, and then Curtis will provide the feedback that you would like to hear.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do this every Monday. It's gonna be 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I love doing this stuff. I also, love to educate whenever I can. When I was coming up, I would love something like this. So if we didn't get to you in this stream, definitely resubmit next week so we can get to you and go through all the songs. But yeah, weekly Monday, tune in.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Hey,
a chance for you to be heard.
I gotta call this. I gotta call this out because Jordan said Curtis Lowkey looks like Lloyd Banks sometimes. That is crazy because I literally just said that same thing to somebody else. I got see one of my homies sent a picture of himself when he was younger, and I said the same thing. So that's kind of funny that just happened. So 2 peas in a pod, 2 Lloyd Banks.
Exactly. And also, before he plays this last one, I just also want to say, again, we're going to choose. That doesn't mean we'll get to everyone each week, but I do my best. We'll do our best, to ensure that you are chosen. But, but don't spam in the chat because I will curve you and ignore you. So don't do it respectfully.
Tell them
respectfully.
how it is. Yeah, tell them how it is. Tell them how it is. I like
some
that.
people, I do that for some of them. But then after that, if you're going to, do too much, just know I tried to show some love. I really do. So that's the thing. We're just here for good vibes, for him to provide good feedback to y'all. And yeah, that's all.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're trying to get your submissions in, just definitely try to get them in as soon as you can. So yeah, on Monday, pull up, get your submissions in, and then if there's any people we don't get to, just resubmit the next week, and we'll try to get you in there. All right, so we got and shout out Sakura here. Really like the feedback and everything. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for submitting your song and letting us listen to it. He said, "Damn, Dev ain't even say from Nightbot." All right.
I know that Nightbot is crazy, but yeah. But yeah, again, we have.
All right, let's get it.
Okay, so we have Isaiah Pierre, yes.
Yeah, Isaiah Pierre. This is called Outside. Let's get into this real quick. Okay.
Whoa, 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 Sukiyaki, it's your Bobby. It's been a little while I've been outside, vibing with my guys. I ain't really been myself for a while, so I'm outside to catch a quick vibe. Yeah, I've been on my bullshit, staying out the way, working on myself and taking holiday. Smoking on my J, smoking on my J. I'm no more rolling front to now, I'm smoking paper. If you know, then you know. No go, no go, no. No go, no go, no. Oh.
Hell yeah, I like the vibe, the little island vibe here. I like the mix. I think the vocals. So when you have a vocal that or a vocalist that's doesn't project very loud when they record, I feel like when you're mixing it, it's easy to have to do stuff to bring them forward, but in doing so, it usually kind of brings out like a little proximity effect of them sounding extremely close to you. So I'd probably play with the compression and the EQ a little bit more just to kind of get the vocal to sit in there a little bit better. And the only other thing, like I like the punchiness of the drums, with the exception, okay, so in this music, the log drum is everything. And it's not buried or anything in here, but because that is like the basis of this style of music, I would probably spend just like a little bit more time on trying to bring out that log drum to like when it comes in, it steals the show because that's like everything in this music. If I hear a log drum, I already know like that's what I want out of this type of music. Let's check out. Let me see some levels and stuff.
Vibing with my guys. I ain't really been myself for a while, so I'm outside to catch a quick vibe. Yeah, I've been on my bullshit, staying I do.
Oh, and by the way, these reverb throws that you have going on and like the little reverse stuff, and this shit is tight. So definitely kudos to my man for having the reverse reverbs that pan to the left and then they tail out to over here to the right. Like super cool, very creative. I really like all of the little ear candy things that were put in here. As far as like the levels go, I don't know if you're gonna send this out to mastering or not. It could be a little bit louder. You can see there's a good amount of transients. It doesn't seem squashed, so I assume you'd send this out to mastering a little bit.
Vibing with my guys. I ain't really been myself for a while, so I'm outside to catch a quick vibe. Yeah, I've been on my bullshit, staying out the way.
Yeah, so this is the shaker.
I'm a rolling frontal, now I'm smoking paper.
So as you could tell, like when I put the frequency spectrum on, like the shaker high end is louder than everything in the beat.
Vibing with my guys. I ain't really been myself for a while, so I'm outside to catch a quick vibe. Yeah, I've been on my bullshit, staying out the way. I'm taking all.
And then you can also see like with this waveform, there's like a brick wall, like low pass filter on. I don't know if it's on the two bus or whatever, but you can see.
Vibing with my guys. I ain't really been myself for a while, so I'm outside to.
You can see at 16K, it's just all chopped off there. Sometimes that's a good sound. I think sometimes you lose like a little air in the mix or a little space sometimes. This one doesn't feel like it's losing a bunch, but I do think that the reason that these shakers are so are poking out in this frequency here is because of this cut. So like when you low pass something, or even when you have a bell curve on something, like when you're cutting a frequency, it makes other frequencies, like it pushes the energy to those other frequencies. So in this particular case, I'm sure a lot of the low pass filter is probably adding to the shaker information up here, because the shaker doesn't it doesn't pierce my ears, but it's definitely taking away from the shine of the vocals a little bit. I think in this type of music, you kind of want that log drum to poke out and have like warmth in the low end, and then have the vocals shine. And then your hi-hats, your shakers, whatever your percussion is, you fit in around that. Let's see. They were asking who the artist was. It's Isaiah Pierre is the artist there. So definitely check out Isaiah. That song was cool. Yeah, it looks like everybody's liking the song. I see some people said they sent theirs. This is gonna be the last one for the night.
Yeah.
So definitely next Monday, make sure you get to thecartestlive.com and submit your music so that I can review them. We'll be doing it every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely tap in with us. I do want to say thanks for everybody coming out. This is our first show. I feel like it was a really good turnout. Let's get some applause for us in here. Yay. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm glad everybody's appreciating the feedback. I always like to give feedback and teach the community and kind of, reach one, teach one, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's wrap this up. He said the golf claps.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
The golf.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So,
Let's wrap this
so
up.
again, like what he just said, basically every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have an opportunity to submit your music or mix at thecartestlive.com. You'll see it Monday. When you tune in, you'll see exactly where to go to. It is limited submissions. It may change, but ideally it's limited submissions each Monday. And what else could I say? Oh, yes. And then basically the way it works is I pretty much will look or review. He'll also see what's going on in the chat to see if you're really participating and to see if you've just submitted your music correctly. And yeah, basically I'll choose from one of those, the names off the list, and then I'll submit that to Curtis, and then Curtis will basically provide feedback to you based on the feedback that you would like.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to that, Anya. So we plan to do the show for about an hour or so. But the more popping this gets, the more hours we'll go. So y'all just keep submitting music, and then eventually we'll just
Yes.
extend it on, and I'll be able to listen to more as we go
Yeah.
through. But
We've had like over 100 submissions tonight, so it was great.
Oh,
Like people really wanted to hear your feedback. So
nice, nice. Yeah, that's big ups to y'all for submitting that much music. Definitely come back next week and submit. We'll try to start expanding the show to be longer so we can cover more songs when we can. But really appreciate all the love on the first show. This was amazing. All right, cool. I think we're gonna take off. Anya, anything else you want to say?
yep. No, that's all. But thank you guys for showing up. I believe I'll be here next week as well, maybe to help out and mod and just, chat with y'all and engage with y'all. Like I said, when y'all just submit, just participate, show some good vibes, and I'll look out to choosing you for you to get your feedback.
Hell yeah. I see Thomas Phillips. Shout out to you. I'll be seeing you on the Engineers platform all the time. Shout out to my boy there. Isaiah Pierre said Most Def. I'm glad you was in here. Great song. And then for anybody that's asking for my socials, I see a lot in the chat. It's curtis.circuit.by. We could type it in the chat here.
And y'all bear with me. Y'all kind of know like another platform I'm on, so sometimes my brain gotta like slow down and say the right words.
Hell yeah. No, I'm the same way. My mind's always going a million miles a minute. So yeah,
But yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, no, I just posted my IG in the YouTube chat. Let me just throw this in the IG chat as well. And y'all can find me, hit me up. Don't get too crazy, though. No, I'm just messing with you. All right, so I put that in the chat. Let me put this in Twitch, and then we'll head on out of here. But definitely find me on IG. Hit me up. Feel free. I try to get to everybody I can. And I'm really glad about the turnout here. I'm super excited about next week to see y'all, so definitely get your submissions in.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So I got my handles up in all three of those chats. Feel free to follow me, ask questions. I'm here for y'all. But otherwise, we'll see you next week on the car test, and we'll get a little car script.